Yeah, welcome to October. We have a few too many chairs in here, but I'm glad to see, yeah, most folks are kind of gathering together. And folks on Zoom, yeah, thank you for joining us. And you'll see I think we had this last time, Curtis, but we have a new camera so that camera is going to be panning around. But everyone here, don't pay any attention to it when you're talking. Oh yeah, there it goes. So hopefully the internet stays with us this time. I know last time we had a little bit of trouble, but glad we can make these hybrid meetings work. So yeah, welcome everyone, old faces, new faces. Glad to see everyone in October. Like I said, it's been a couple months. Our last meeting was in August. We skipped September just because it's a time of year when a lot of folks are busy, and I think a lot of us still are busy, but we wanted to pull everyone together this month just to check in and see how things are going. All right, so let's I think folks in the room, if you haven't signed up on the sign-in sheet, please do that. We have it over here on the side, and then we are going to go around and do some quick introductions. Just quick, let us know your name, either what organization you're representing or where you're joining us from, and then we'll head up to Zoom and do the same thing. So one more housekeeping thing. If you are in the room here, if you can use the microphone when you're speaking, that just helps the Zoom folks be able to hear us, because otherwise they can't hear us. So I guess I'll go first. I'm Allison Thompson. I'm the executive director here at the Yuba Watershed Protection and Fire Safe Council. Really glad to see everyone here joining us. All right, and I'll pass it on.
Hi, I'm Yannicka Allen, and I'm the project coordinator at Yuba Watershed Protection and Fire Safe Council.
Hi, I'm Louise Miller. I'm the principal superintendent at Yuba Environmental Science Charter Academy, a K-8 school right down the street. And I'm a wildfire mitigation advisor volunteer for Yuba Watershed Protection and Fire Safe Council.
Hi, I'm Gary Files. I'm one of the lookouts up at Oregon Peak. I am a board member of the Yuba County Resource Conservation District, and I'm the program coordinator for the Wildland Fire Mitigation Review Program.
Hi, my name is Rita Clipperton with the Tahoe National Forest.
I'm Rob Barch with Cal Fire. I'm the battalion chief for Yuba County.
And I'm Keith Chambers, retiring director, CEO of the Chai Company.
I'm Frances Ankers, and I'm a homeowner living in Oregon House.
All right, so that's it for in person here. We'll head up to Zoom. And oh my gosh, Curtis, I'm so sorry. Curtis, go ahead.
Curtis Canfield, Executive Director for the Alcoof Center and part of the Fire Safe Council.
I don't think they could see on the video, Curtis, but apologies for that. Looks like our internet here at the Alcoof just went down momentarily. So hopefully that was the only time that happens today. Let's see. Gretchen, are you there now? I think you were frozen last time. Oh,
yes.
Yes. All right, go ahead, Gretchen. Introduce yourself.
I'm Gretchen Cupp with Yuba Sutter Domestic Animal Disaster Assistance. We set up a shelter for dogs in the event of a declared disaster at the request of OES. And my end of things is messed up too. So if I'm not here.
Yeah, we all know the how rural internet goes. So we experience it daily. All right, next on our list, I see Ronnie. If you want to go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I've been coming to these meetings for about maybe a year and a half. I'm with the Department of Insurance, but I'm here just as a private citizen. And let's see, we have regulations that will be in effect probably this week, finally, after 3 years of lots of meetings with stakeholders. And yeah, so good news.
Yeah,
Scoring and mitigation is going to be part of the insurance agenda from now on.
that's fantastic news, Ronnie. Maybe we'll connect later, and someone from your
Okay.
team, maybe we can get a little presentation. One of our next meetings would be great to kind of fill people in on what these
Sure.
regulations really mean.
Yeah, I'd love to get one of our attorneys, our lead attorneys, to come and present to you. That would be great.
That'd be great. Okay. Great. Thanks. All right. Next, I see Rodney.
Yes, Rodney Carter, Oregon House resident. I recently became a mitigation advisor thanks to Gary and Beverly's excellent training. And I'm also working on outreach with the local Fellowship of Friends community.
Fantastic. Thanks, Rodney. All right, Ryan, you're up next.
Guys hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Hi, everybody. Ryan McKillop with Sierra Pacific Industries. I live in Brownsville, so I live and work in Yuba County and have for some time, and been involved with a lot of the planning and implementation of some of these fire safe grants, fuel breaks, and forest health work, and continue to keep doing so in the future.
Great. Thanks for being here, Ryan. All right, next I see Brianna.
Hi,
Pinto.
good morning.
Yeah.
My name is Brianna Pinto. I'm with California Department of Fish and Wildlife. I work with Mario Clip and John Watkins, who were on the agenda for today, but couldn't make it. They're out in the field. So happy to hear more about what the community is doing and how we can continue to help.
Perfect. Well, thanks for being here, Brianna. Let's see, things moved around a bit. So it looks like Oscar, you are next.
Good morning, everyone. Oscar Moran here from Yuba County OES. I'm just here visiting the email. John Stone is in training, and so is Frank Danatelli. So anything regards to them that you'll need to follow up, and I'll jot down and report back to them.
All right. Thanks, Oscar. Ricky, you're up next.
Hey, folks. Rick Satome, EC Extension Forest Advisor for Yuba County.
Great. Glad to have you here, Rick. Madison, your turn.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Madison Thompson here with the Chai Company. Yeah, I manage forestry operations for the Chai Company and also some of the other timberland owners in the general service area, the Fire Safe Council.
Great, thanks. All right, Joanna, you're up next.
Good morning, Joanna Lassard, Yuba Water Agency. I lead our watershed resilience program, which is really geared toward developing large collaborative projects to help with watershed resilience and fire risk reduction in the county and our upper watershed. So I'm here to just listen, and if there are new projects anyone wants to reach out about, feel free to contact me.
Great, glad to see you here, Joanna. All right, next, oh, it just shifted a bit. Okay, next on our screen here, it shows us owner's iPhone. Is that somebody?
Could be me, Stephen Heater. I'm a board member, and I also work with the 4th Senate District with Senator Jim Nielsen, in professional capacity. So glad to be here.
Awesome, thanks, Stephen. Yeah, you're actually showing up as a different square. So there's someone else with an iPhone out there. So we'll see who we. Oh, there you go.
I'm on the iPhone. Sheila Adams, challenge. Sorry.
There we go. No problem. Hi, Sheila.
Hello.
Awesome.
Challenge California. There's a time lag.
I think we're seeing that. Yeah, we're well used to that. So.
Okay.
Great. But yeah.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. All right, let's see. I think Creighton, you are up next.
Yeah, my name is Creighton Avila. I work for Yuba Water Agency and help out Joanna with her program area, and then help out also the Fire Safe Council. I'm currently on the board.
Great, thanks, Creighton. Debbie, your turn.
Good morning, Debbie Azeltine Nielsen. You can hear me okay, Allison?
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellent. Yes, with the Yuba County Resource Conservation District and also resident up in the Challenge Brownsville area.
Great, thanks, Debbie. And then we have one call-in number. It's a 707 number. You there? All right. If you are that 707 number, if you're having trouble unmuting, *6 often helps. You know, that can get tricky. Oh.
Hello. Hi, this is Andrew Carrillo. I'm a certified wildfire mitigation specialist with Wildfire Services Group. We're based in Windsor, Healdsburg area, and I'm just listening in to just kind of learn more about projects going on. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay, great. Well, welcome. All right, I think we got everyone on Zoom there. We did have a few more people join us here in person, so maybe we'll send the mic around one more time. Get those introductions. They're running all around.
Right. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Sorry for being late. My name is Pamela Cook, and I'm part of the board for this wonderful program.
Hi, my name is Kathy LeBlanc. I'm the Executive Director of Cantonville Community Partnership and the Forest Biomass Business Center project.
We have mysterious voices here. Hang on. There we go. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Go ahead, Beverly.
I'm Beverly Files, and I am a wildfire mitigation review person and the education outreach committee volunteer.
All right, I think that's everyone. All right, well, thank you all for being here. A good crowd we've got showing up today, both right here and on Zoom. So thanks again. Before we dive into the bulk of the meeting, I want to make one quick announcement. I know we've been shifting around our meeting schedule a little bit over the past few months. And we have one more little switch coming up soon. So our November meeting is not going to be in the morning like this. It's going to be the same day, but instead we're going to do what we're calling our first annual year-end review and more importantly, and potluck. So we're going to have, we'll talk about it a little more later too, but we'll have the opportunity to just kind of talk about, briefly what the Fire Safe Council has been up to and kind of where we see ourselves going next year. And then most importantly, we'll have a potluck. We'll provide the main dish and we'll have folks sign up for side dishes and desserts. So just a chance to hang out and build community. So that will be November 9th. That's the second Tuesday, Wednesday. Thank you. The second Wednesday, 5:30 in the evening. Let's see, we have a sign-up sheet we're going to send around here. We'll also email it out to folks on Zoom and just to the whole email list, but we'll send around the sign-up sheet. You can sign up to bring a potluck dish and also to help with setup, cleanup, and or be on the planning committee. We just have a few more little tasks to do to get ready for this. So if you'd like to help volunteer, we can use some support. So we'll go ahead and send this around. We also have a few flyers we printed out. Let's see that direction. We'll be emailing these out to you Zoom folks, but if anyone here, if you want to take some with you and hang them up in some good locations, we'd love to get as many folks as possible out to support us. So I don't know, we'll leave these on the table here. Feel free to pick them up as you're heading out. So, but that's a plan. That's a plan for November. Yes.
The email about this council meeting also included a link for a spot you can RSVP and say if you're planning to bring a potluck item. So that's already in your email box too.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes. And we'll send out reminders as well. All right. So with that, that brings us to our time for public comment. If there's anyone who doesn't already have a spot on the agenda who would like to address the council, now's your time. So I saw Louise first, and then we'll come to you, Francis. Need a microphone.
Thank you. I'm inviting you to a public event, and it's called Forest Health in Yuba County's Foothills. It is hosted by my school, Yuba Environmental Science Charter Academy, and by Yuba Water Agency. The date is October 13th. That's this Thursday, and it will start at 5:30. It's scheduled to go until 7. And this is an opportunity for you to hear from agencies that are doing work around forest health. The agencies are Yuba Water Agency, Feather River Air Quality Management District, Yuba College, Yuba Watershed Protection and Fire Safety Council, Camptonville Community Partnership, and finally, Blue Forest Conservation. So all of these will have representatives there. They'll spend a few minutes just introducing themselves, telling what work they do around forest health. And then it'll be a Q&A. So the public is invited to come and ask them questions about forest health in the foothills. Thank you.
Tomorrow.
That's right. It's tomorrow. Time flies.
All right. And then Francis, you had your hand up.
Try. My name is Frances Ankers, and I'm a homeowner. As you all know, we recently had a fire very close to me called the Winding Fire. And I just want to thank all the amazing fire crew, the emergency personnel, the local sheriff, because I feel that you saved my home, you saved my family because of your response. I'm here today because I feel that your lives matter and your lives are more important than my life. Because you go out every day and you save people, you save their animals, their livelihood, their homes. What I want to know is what will happen to you when you're up there in that fire and there is no means of egress? So a means of egress is a path of travel from the building to the outside. It is an emergency escape route in case of fire or another emergency. So I live in an 11-acre parcel. Yuba County granted permits. We built our home there, but we don't have a means of egress. You all know about it. It's a pain in the neck. Yuba County knows about it. All the deeds are in place. And you know what I'm talking about, Manzanita Lane, Citron Way, La Salle. So it is for that very reason even when there's a mandatory evacuation, that I will stay and perish in my home, because I will not get caught like the campfire in Paradise, where people, they only had one means of egress and they perished in their cars. So I need you guys' help, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Marcus. Anyone else for public comment? All right, well, hearing no more, thank you both for those comments. We will move on to our partner reports. You will notice this month, lately we have been having some, we'll have a guest presentation at each of our meetings. This month, we don't have that. We reached out to a few different folks and no one was able to make it. So we just have more time today for good conversation. So, but I will note if anyone here, or if you would like to give a presentation, kind of a longer presentation at one of our meetings, or there's someone out there that you would like to hear from at our meetings, please do let us know. We're planning to continue that for most meetings going forward, especially in the new year. So let us know. We're always on the lookout for great guest presenters. All right, so let's move on to the partner reports. Looks like we got quite a few folks here, so we will just go down our list. Forest Service, I don't see the Plumas here, so we will have the Tahoe. Go ahead. And we will get you a mic.
Hi, my name is Rita Clipperton. I'll give some update for the Tahoe Forest. Let's see, in the last couple months, some projects that have been ongoing around the Moonshine Road, south of Bullard's Bar area. What started as some contingency line for the Rice's fire, opening a old road system. We had our technician keep working for a couple months along some holding lines. So he was able to masticate along some roads. And so now we have some existing line for holding in that area and around the campgrounds. Additionally, we had some crews staging for the summer for the fire severity with the fire risk. And while they were there, they built some hand piles along Moonshine Road for about 30 acres that will burn this winter. On the north side of Bullard's Bar and the Pendola Scar, in the hot part of the summer, we had work on hold with the activity levels being high, and that rain that came at the end of September gave just enough relief to get those crews back to work. And so they were able in the last 10 or 11 days of September to continue with some chipping and building hand piles there, and they got another 40 acres. Just in the last part of that month, and they're continuing work out there now. Additionally, contract was awarded for a Trapper unit, which is 1,300 acres. A lot of that is in Sierra County, but we have parts in Yuba County, south of Kemptonville along Highway 49. And so work should begin on that project very soon this month, starting in high elevations. And then as they get pushed down the hill from snow and rain, they hope to continue working as much as they can through the winter. So there'll be work along Highway 49 there. And right now we're working on just preparing for when it's burn season again. It's still dry out there for us, but we're nearing the end of the season. So we're just polishing off our burn plans and reviewing those so that when we have opportunity, we'll do our prescribed fire.
Great, thanks, Rita. You can go ahead and pass the mic off to Rob. Or from CAL FIRE next. Should just be yeah, you got it.
I'm Rob with CAL FIRE. And in the unit, we've been, and actually in the whole state, we've been pretty fortunate. We've had so far, I don't want to jinx it, but a moderate fire season compared to the last couple of years. That last little bit of rain we had last month, I think definitely helped. I don't know if it was enough to sustain us through until winter, but at least it was something, and it was helpful. I think statewide where we've been fortunate is all the incidents we have been spaced out far enough that we're not too stretched thin when the next one starts. So we're able to jump on all the new starts pretty effectively because we haven't gotten to those low drawdown levels. So that's been really fortunate for us. Locally in the unit, we've been able to increase quite a bit of our staffing. We have another dozer in the unit that has been actually here in Yuba County, doubled up with our normal Dobbins dozer for the last couple of weeks, just doing some orientation. And once he gets fully trained up, we'll have in the whole unit 4 dozers. So that will definitely be helpful. We got some funding to hire more firefighters, bolster some of our crews. Just at the end of the season here, the inmate crews numbers are really going down. Like I know Chief Mathias has talked about that in the past, where in previous years we've had 5 hand crews at Washington Ridge. Now we kind of go back and forth between 1 and 2. So we have the CCC crews, we have a dedicated fuels crew and the National Guard crew in the unit, and we've been able to bolster some of their numbers, get their facilities a little better, and then get some of our engineers, so we have a little more overhead and gives us a little more ability to do more things with those crews. So that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. As far as the outlook of the season, we have no idea what the weather is going to bring. Right now, we typically the budget is always funded through October 15th to end fire season, and that's just standard. And then every year we either extend it or shorten it based on the weather. And so like every year for the last as many years I remember, we've always extended it. So right now we've got approval to extend if needed to December 24th. There's no way to know if we're going to need to go that far or farther. Only the weather will dictate that, but at least we know we have the ability to stay fully staffed until then without any more red tape. In the unit, just an update for some things that happened this summer. The biggest fire we had was the mosquito fire, and that was over in Placer County. It's still being staffed, and they're still doing a lot of work there. Most of it's just interior. There hasn't been any perimeter growth in several weeks. So we have quite a bit of commitment to that for fire suppression repair, the rehab, and I know they did some burning operations the last couple of days on some interior pockets. That's what the lookouts have been noticing, some increased activity. It's all deep interior, so shouldn't be any sort of a threat. Also, not necessarily in Yuba County, but right on our edge, we had a couple incidents. The Rice's fire, everyone was pretty well up to speed on that one. And then the Jones fire, which was about 50 acres, just further up the river between Grass Valley and the North San Juan up in there. That had quite a bit of potential, but again, since we weren't stretched too thin at that time, we were able to get on it pretty quick and hold that at about 50 acres. Within Yuba County, the 2 biggest ones, the Winding and then the Apple fire, wasn't really so big, but that one had a lot of potential. It was right there, sort of in the Fish and Game property, just past Collins Lake Dam. And that one we had there was another fire, I don't remember exactly where, but somewhere close by, and the tankers flying to that other one spotted this Apple fire. So that would had quite a bit of potential to come up out of Collins Lake up to our neighborhood. So they were really quite fortunate that we were able to get on that quick. I'd like to just sort of touch on some of your concerns. That whole area where the winding fire was, that's one of our biggest priorities on our battalion ignition plan. And I mean, unfortunately, like that's one of the downsides of living in a rural community. But that is on our radar, and we've listed that as one of our priorities, that area, improving access, widening roads. And so I know that when we put that in our ignition plan, that's just some words on paper. But what that does is that makes it easier for groups like the Yuba Fire Safe Council, county roads, to get grant money to do those projects, because they have something backing it up. So we can say that is a priority for CAL FIRE. So that's one way that we're trying to look at that community. The other is some of our VMP projects, and that people always think that's a burn. That's not necessarily a burn, but we have a lot of projects going to Reeder Ranch, Richards Ranch, and that fish and game property, fuel clearing, some masticating. So we know that's a community that needs some attention. Yeah. And one thing that we found is it's always there's a lot of red tape and a lot of hurdles to jump through to make big fire breaks. So we were able to but you can always make contingency line. So during the Rice's fire, we were able to go into a lot of areas on our side of the river and make some contingency line, open up some projects that needed some work. So we were able to put in quite a lot of good work because of that fire, and just like you guys did. And then one last thing I wanted to mention, there was been a lot of small suspicious fires all the way from Placer County through Yuba County up into Butte, up past Challenge and stuff. A couple of weeks ago, our prevention department made an arrest regarding several of those. I don't have a lot of the details as far as the specifics of that. I just know that they made an arrest. They did put out a press release about that, and we'll see how that plays out in court. But we've noticed a decrease in activity in some areas. Otherwise, that's all I got.
Great. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, I was going to ask you about if you have any stats on how some of those fires start. So some suspicious ones. Yeah, well, good that they're going down now. All right. Thanks, Rob. Next up on the list, we have Department of Fish and Wildlife. So Brianna, if you're all right, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you. So we're continuing to work in the area as well. We have projects going on at Doherty Hill Wildlife Area, and we've been chipping away at those definitely for the last year or so. And so we're just wrapping up on our portion that's along Marysville Road. We have crews out there this week focusing on that. And we are doing fields prevention work in all across our region that we manage. We have 17 counties that we're working in, but we have dedicated a decent amount of time to working out in Yuba County. We have grazing permits that are opening up in the next couple of weeks to continue prescribed herbivory on many parts of the wildlife area. And we're continuing to plan fuels reduction projects for the future. So our presence on these lands will hopefully continue to be felt and get us some progress for the next season.
Fantastic. Thanks, Brianna. All right, next up, don't see Supervisor Fletcher, so we will move on to Yuba County OES. Oscar.
So good morning again, everyone. Oscar Marie here. For Yuba County OES, so like I said, it's been a great fire season for the community, and I like where things are at now, and hopefully they end like this. it'd be great to catch up on the backside of things. For us, and like Chief Barsh said, and I'll direct this question to the concerned citizen. We have talked to a few citizens that were involved in the Winding Fire, and they had some of their property scorched, but their houses survived. And to my understanding is that Regent Way is a CSA area, which basically means a community service area. So the roads are very, I can't, and it's a lot like the Chief Park says, red tape. I can't really go on their behalf and send public works in there and start fixing roads or opening stuff up without the direction of the community. So they have their own ways of fixing. They have to vote amongst the community on what they want roads done and everything. We did reach out to Richard's Ranch to assist with the communication, and I know the daughter runs the ranch now, and they are willing to open up that side of Regent Way. They just don't have the funds to put it in on that, and it's not part of the CSA area. So that's something the CSA area, and I told the community concerned citizens that that's something that they'd have to talk amongst themselves, and if they want to fix that side of Regent Way, that's a possibility. So that's where that stands at. So the last I spoke to a few residents up there, they said they're going to start reaching out to the residents and coming together and forming a town hall meeting amongst themselves to help exit routes in that aspect, and we'll try to assist what we can, but it's only so much that we could get involved in. Side note of that, we're switching over and getting ready for the winter season flood event, and if any snow events happen here in the area. October 20th is our prepared fair and a flood aspect. So if anyone up in the foothills have resident family members that live down in the valley, shoot them our way. Between it's gonna, I think it starts at, it's gonna be going from 5:30 to, oh correction, I think they changed the time, 4:30 to 6:30, October 20th at the Food Max parking lot in Linda. It's right across the street from the Linda Fire Station 1. So we'll have their multiple agencies are going to be there, and it just is preparing the community in case of floods, soil rise, evacuations, and etc. We'll have go bags to hand out and assisting the community with Code Red and Zone Haven activations and information. Other than that, nothing else to report.
Yes. Oscar, I think Kathy has a question for you. Hang on.
Hi, Oscar. I just want some clarity on something you mentioned. I live on a road similar to, the Regent Way area that is private roads. You said something about the community meeting among themselves to figure out the direction, the best way for ingress and egress. After they do that, are you saying that Yuba County perhaps might be able to assist or support whatever direction they come up with?
So the way that community service area works, and like I said, this was an educational part for me, is I cannot send public works or county roads in there to do any work without that community saying that that's the part. Let me back up. So that community service area, the residents in there, they pay, instead of paying, I guess, taxes towards the community to the county, it's like an HOA. The community service area is, if you know what an HOA is, that's what it is. So their funds, they decide on where their funds will be allocated. So if they don't want to spend their allocated funds that they have from whatever fees they have to pay yearly, then it's based on them. So we just can't go in there and tell them you should fix this road. It's amongst the community members, they have to decide. It's pretty much falls under almost the same rules of an HOA, like a housing, like that. It's like the gated community. there's only certain rules you can do, and that was my understanding. So when I talked to some of the community members up there, they said that they're going to start reaching out to the other community members and residents up there, and they'll get together and come up with a plan.
So once they do come up with a plan, will the county help support that plan, or is it on that HOA to be able to afford all the work that needs to be done to make these roadways safe for ingress and egress?
Yes, we can't. Yeah, basically what it is. Yeah, it depends on their funds. I'm not sure on the legalities that I have to ask my county works department. That'd be a question for my public works director. But once they come together and figure out a plan on what they want to do, that's when we could get with the county, and I could involve my other directors involved in it and see how we could help out if possible.
Kathy, it might not, this Creighton, it might not be public road. It might not be public roads if they're in a CSA, right? So like a zone of benefit. And so they might have put in those roads a long time ago, and they'll do the work. In El Dorado, we did the same. It was the same thing for communities that own their own roads. They weren't public roads. They did the work along those roads.
They meaning the community members.
Yeah, if they owned the roads, yeah.
Right.
And so they would collect it through their CSA, their funds, and then decide how they wanted to allocate their funds. I'm guessing, Oscar, that it's probably the same in you.
That's what it is. I was told that the community members, the residents up there, they own their roads. So we have.
Right. We can talk later for more clarity on this. Thank you, Oscar. I was just wondering, this might be an opportunity because I know the Community Wildfire Protection Plan meetings will be coming up maybe early next year or something. And Allison, that's probably an opportunity for folks who live on roads such as, what was your name? Such as Francis and I, to be able to put those roads into the plan. And maybe that's a way we can fund the work that needs to be done. Because as everybody knows, there's a lot of homeowners who are non-residents, people who own property, who really don't maintain along the roads. And those little road association dollars only go so far. So if there's a way we can help communities out like ours, that would be great. Okay, that's all I have to say. Thanks for now anyway.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kathy. And yeah, I'll in my report later, I'll talk a little bit more about that CWPP you mentioned, but agreed. Great opportunity there.
There are CSA in Yuba County. If people want to look at.
Okay.
They can hear me. Oh,
yeah. Go ahead.
So there are a lot of CSAs. If you take a look at yuba.org CSAs, you'll see some maps.
Perfect. Thanks, Pam. All right. Thanks, everyone there. Let's see, Frank is not here. Public Works, I don't see them here, or the sheriff. So let's move on to Yuba Water Agency. Either Creighton or Joanna, do you have any updates for us?
I can go real quick. Hi everyone, Joanna Lessard. Nothing, no major updates. I did want to announce that if you're on my Yuba Earworm list, you would have gotten yesterday an announcement of new funding from DWR through their Urban Community Drought Relief Program. And in this program, you wouldn't normally see this, but all of these sort of programs have a lot more money in the last few years, and especially in the next, I think, coming 12 months. And in those solicitations, they're including, almost all of them are including things about source watershed improvements, climate resilience, watershed protection that would fit a lot of our forest health, fire risk reduction types of projects. So I'll continue to send those out. If you're not on my email list and you want to be, feel free to just let me know and I can add you. But if you don't normally look at, solicitations from DWR and you have a project, you might want to look at it because there's a lot of funding coming out that includes project eligibility well within the interest of this group. So I just wanted to announce that in general. And then I just wanted to say, you know, the Yuba Foothills Healthy Forest Project is moving along. We're making really good progress. Major shout out to Madison for all of his hard work. He's really carrying it and we really rely on him. So he's doing an excellent job. So I just wanted to thank him. And if anyone has any questions on that project, you can reach out to myself or Madison as well. That's it for me.
Great. Thanks so much, Joanna. Oh. Rodney or Joanna? Francis is asking what Rodney's email is. Is that who were you talking about the forester working on the? Yes. How do you contact Joanna? Yeah. We can get you Joanna's email address. Yeah.
I'll put my email in the chat, and then yeah, Allison, feel free to forward it to anyone interested.
For sure, for sure.
Okay.
It'll be in the minutes too, Francis. We can do that. Yeah, if that's all right, Joanna. Great. All right. Well, thank you, Joanna. Let's see. Next up, I don't see Beal here. Gary, we still have you on the list for the Oregon Peak Lookout. Do you have an update right now, or should we talk to someone else?
Yes, I'm no longer the coordinator, but Bill hires the coordinator. I believe it's been a very successful season again. I believe the Lookout has reported a few fires as the first report. The biggest thing is due to age-related attrition. Numbers are going down. So do I. And we are looking for more volunteers. I know the coordinator, Bill High, is thinking about next year due to the lack of volunteers that we may have to go to one shift in the afternoon. We would like to do 2 shifts every day of the week, but we're not able and capable of doing that right now. Season should last for a few more weeks, depending on the weather. I have a feeling the next rain, storm, if it drops more than a half or an inch of rain, we'll probably be ending the season.
Yeah, as far as
if you want to
fire season, start going to ground from this or starts getting cold enough to start eating their wood.
Yeah, I was talking more about the lookout season, but anyway, so that's it on that. Wait a minute, Pam.
So the trick is to try to figure out how to get young, healthy adults to volunteer. So if anybody's got any ideas, maybe we could have a spring recruitment fair or something along those lines. I've met people that have been interested, but then kind of the barrier is vetting them before you just take them up to state property. So if we could put our heads together in that regard, that would be great. It's a valuable asset. Oregon Peak is a valuable asset, in my opinion. I was up there for the Jones fire and you guys were awesome. It was like it started and then it was out in 25 minutes. We got to see the orange retardant splash down. So thank you. That was awesome.
That one. And there was a lot of confusion about where it was.
Yep.
And we thought for a while it was 2 separate fires, one in North Central, one in West Central. So having the lookout, it was very helpful having them tell us one. We were getting reports to drive by and people driving around with we don't know where they're at. So, that made it helpful to have the lookout to narrow down. And as far as the volunteers go, as far as volunteers, unfortunately, like that's sort of not unique to Oregon Peak. Like all the other lookouts are having a hard time keeping enough people to keep the numbers up. if we only have enough for one shift today, like that's great. We'll take that. And if we can make that in the afternoon during the heat of the day, that's the best. And then maybe we have to forego the early morning shift so people don't get burned out. So there's more interest in being there in the afternoon. So yeah, we'll have to get creative with it, but definitely we'd like to get more people.
Yes, the one thing is if anybody's interested, or if you know anybody that's interested, you either can contact me or contact Bill High or even Pam, and we will make the connections. And if anybody's interested, just to see how it may be or to see how they're with the heights, we can get them up there this year before the lookout season ends and give them a little time up there in the lookout to see if it's something they think they may want to do.
In the last couple of years, the training and all of the paperwork and everything tends to get done about March. So all the paperwork can be finalized and then people can start going up when the season begins. So I would say, particularly with the Facebook page, we would probably put out a notice and say, okay, this is when there's going to be a training based on when CAL FIRE can set it up, but it's usually in the early spring. So I would just suggest that if people think that they're interested, get a name to Gary or Bill or Pam and contact information so that we can keep you in the link as far as when that training might be, because it's really great to just go in, get everybody set up, and then we can start putting a schedule together.
Any questions from anybody?
I have a question. Is there a, what's the best email and or phone number? Can we put something in the minutes maybe? Perfect. So we'll put Bill High's email, and if anyone gets confused and can't find that, you can just reach out. Just find the Fire Safe Council. We'll put you in touch with the right people. So. Great. Yeah, folks on Zoom, Rob was just saying you can also go by CAL FIRE station if you're interested in the lookout. So. All right. Thank you.
Okay, my next hat is
yes.
Yuba County Resource Conservation District. I'm one of the board members. We just recently finished a Cal Recycle grant that we do coordinating with Sutter County, which is a cleanup of stolen cars, burned out cars, trash down in the orchards around Yuba City. We are in the process of submitting for another grant for next year. Normally those run about $100,000 to help in the cleanup. Second grant we're working on and plan to submit to the Sierra Nevada Conservancy is for approximately $100,000, and that's hopefully for us to hire an executive director to start helping us go reach out and get more grants. So if you know anybody who may be interested in that type of job or position, get a hold of me or Lisa Lindman or Deborah Nielsen. We're the three board members presently, and we will help you go through the process of applying when we get to that point. We're also looking for at least two more board members. So if you know anybody may be interested, whatever their background may be, lawyer, ranching, farming, we could use the help on the board, even associate board members also, to help get the work done, because the three of us are volunteers and we've been doing this for about 3 years. And sometimes it feels like we're just spinning our wheels. So we're hoping that with this grant that we hope to get from the Sierra Nevada Conservancy will get us going and help us get out there and get some of the grant monies that are available to help improve the fire, forest health issues in the foothills and also help the ranchers down in the valley improve their operations down there. Any questions?
Questions for Gary? Debbie, did you have anything to add to from the RCD?
No, Gary covered it all. Thank you.
I was gonna say Gary's pretty thorough, so good. All right. Well, we're excited to hear that you guys are going to be hiring an ED. Yeah, we will look forward to working closely with them. So. All right, Camptonville Community Partnership.
Again. Yeah, hi. One of the first things I'd like to mention is that CCP also will be looking for an executive director. We will probably start our search very soon. I'm hoping to retire next spring. I will continue with the Forest Biomass Business Center project, but Canterville Communities Partnerships community health projects will sit with another executive director in the future. It's really wonderful. It's a great organization, and if folks are interested, you can get a hold of me, and my email is available through Allison or anywhere else. No, I just wanted to talk a little bit about our a couple of things that went on since last we met. One of them was there was a meeting held in the Alcoof right here through for the Yuba County Children's Council, and you're saying, what does that have to do with the Fire Safe Council? But you know, keeping children safe is part of what we do all the way around. So it was a well-attended meeting. We had about 20 folks from the community come and talk to the department heads of Yuba County government. So that was really wonderful. Big kudos to the Alcoof station for allowing meetings like that at a very low cost. So thank you very much. Back to what we do best. Is build, well, maybe one of the things we do for the longest as well is build this Forest Biomass Business Center. I just wanted to bring folks back through a very short timeline. Some folks either say you have a lot of tenacity, or why does this take so long? Well, I can answer both of them. Yes, we do have a lot of tenacity. We know it's a great project. It's a forest biomass business center, with a centerpiece being 3.5 megawatt essentially a steam engine, direct combustion, that will use forest byproducts and create electricity. About 3 megawatts will go into the grid, and good paying jobs with benefits for local folks. So that is great. It's also part of a larger vision, which is a forest biomass business center. We are in the midst of owning 100 acres where the project sits, and that will really help us, you know, have the full space we need to do this great project. We had a couple tours happen through our come through our project. We had I got to get these words right. Let's see. It is I wrote a great acronym here, and now I'm going to lose it. It is the California Wildfire and Forest Resiliency Task Force. They met in Nevada County, I believe it was last week, and they came out to Bullard's Bar and both our project sites. So that was really exciting. Folks wanted to see, you know, what it is and you know, how we plan to work with this. This project is also part of the North Yuba Forest Partnership. And as a result, at that task force meeting, there were numerous folks saying, you know, the bioenergy facility is the missing link. So we want to get it built. You want to get it built. Let's build this thing. We just need more money. That's all. We have a couple of grants. We tried for 2 different CAL FIRE grants this year. Unfortunately, we did not get either one. The first round was a bit controversial of what we tried for. We went for a hauling subsidy to bring that green, you know, those bone dry tons into the plant. And then the second one was for equipment for the plant. But we were told the second round had a much less dollars to choose from. And though our proposal was very good, it was not accepted. So we are tenacious, as I said, and we're writing one right now for Sierra Nevada Conservancy. And that was the other tour that came out. They came out and looked at the property, and folks know that this is a good project. They also know it's a community-driven organization trying to push this through to the other side, which is pretty unusual. And you know, we will persevere. This is too good of a project not to, you know, to be able to get to finality. So we're looking at it in operation in 2024. We had, you know, we started this in 2012, but since then we had the PG&E bankruptcy, which sort of slowed things down for a while. Then we had COVID, of course, that slowed things down. Then we had supply chain, which really put us in a quandary over the price of the project, and you know, now inflation. So we're working with our engineering, procurement, and construction firm that we've been working with to see if they can get the price within a ballpark that makes sense. And like I said, it's a great project. Anybody who wants to know more about it, you can go to Camptonville Biomass, Google that, and it'll bring you to our site, and you can find out more. The other thing that we're looking into, because, you know, we do have that co-located opportunity, we're looking at bringing in a small sawmill. I think it's about, might use 15,000 board feet a year, not super big, but to bring it in, and we'll see what other partners we can get. And I could be wrong on that figure. I'm not so good on my board feet, but okay, that's all for me. Does anybody have questions? I got two.
Yeah, hey, Kathy, thank you for the report. This is Keith Chambers, and that biomass plant is a very worthy project. And I think the having a sawmill, small sawmill, is also a good complement for the community, because when we talk about doing fire safe work around people's homes, one of the big challenges is getting rid of the logs. And I recently did some work, could not find a home for the logs. It's a challenging log market, so we split them all, and then we chipped them at tremendous expense. So having a local community small sawmill where the logs can actually be processed, it would be a great benefit to the community. Kathy, my only question and concern, and the question is, do you share a similar concern? The governor desires to decarbonize the production of electricity, okay, and has a very aggressive agenda. Will that negatively impact the biomass plant and its ability to burn biomass fuel and generate power?
We are working hard there's language in what the governor has passed regarding to the word combustion. And, you know, that is really the key. What we have is a plant that we've received an EPIC grant for innovation, because we are using not only reduced water, we have an air cooler, and we also will have reduced emissions. This is essentially a steam engine. It is old, tried and true technology, but it is only at 3.5 megawatts. So it does not have the concern that I think the language in the governor's bill pointed to. We're still working to make sure that language, that combustion and what we're doing is allowed. So far, it seems to be okay because we fall under the thresholds. So we'll definitely, we're keeping eyes on that. Thank you.
Kathy, my question is, we're bringing employees up here, we're bringing another business up here, possibly a growing center, greenhouses and such. Is there any talk about infrastructure, gas stations, places for these employees to go have lunch?
And I wanted to clarify, it is food growing greenhouses that we're looking at. But part of the infrastructure that could happen is, you know, I'm not so sure about a gas station because that's a ton of regulation. but there is opportunity for a restaurant. You know, where it's located on Marysville Road, about a mile south of the dam, maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles. I don't know. My geography isn't the greatest. Close to Bullard's Bar, close to that recreation facility. So there is opportunity for the community if they wanted to put a restaurant there. Or one of my personal favorites is a brewery, because it just has the most beautiful view at the top of the hill there. I don't know if any of you guys have been to Blairsden Brewery, but it's really a family run thing. There's games and it's a family atmosphere. So there's much potential. Curtis, if you want to open a restaurant, let me know.
Thanks, Kathy. Any other questions for Kathy? Look forward to that restaurant, Curtis. Steakhouse. Great. Great. All right. Next up on our list in attendance here, it looks like we have Ryan from SPI. If you want to give us a quick little update.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I don't really have too much of an update. We haven't done anything for, since we shut down in July because of the fire danger. As far as fuel reduction work, we were masticating. I think I had 4 machines working, and we took a pause there, and just now we're waiting, for a safer period where, we don't have to worry about an ignition and starting a fire, because we definitely don't want to do that. So, when you're masticating, I mean, it's pretty common, to get a start of some sort. And we took quite a bit of precaution there in June, in case there was an ignition, that we had a water source there. We were patrolling every day our active operations for 2 hours after we completed the operations each day. So we did our due diligence there, but maybe November-ish we'll get going again, and hopefully, be able to work through a good part of the winter, getting a bunch more acres treated, I hope. That's kind of all that we've really been dealing with. And, that I've been kind of following the tree trimming crews around the Brownsville area, Strawberry Valley, and they're doing a lot of work, and, just trying to make sure that that we're getting use of those trees that they're taking out, and getting the mess cleaned up as best we can. But it's tough. There's just a lot going on, and I'll just mention there are quite a number of dead, dying, leaning trees along Willow Glen Road as a result of several fires that we've had. I'm not sure what, the tree trimming crew takes care of some of them, but we as a company can't be out there with active operations along a public road. So I just thought I'd mention that, as it's these trees are hazard trees. They are going to come down eventually, and I'm just not sure what to do there. So it's important for public, emergency egress and public safety, I think, that we figure out some way to deal with some of this material. And some of these trees are quite large.
Yeah, Ryan, I don't know if I would start with Public Works, I guess. I don't know if they normally can't work outside of the right of way, but if it's threatening the road, I don't know if.
Yeah, a number of these are in the right of way, and
yeah,
and we can't shut the traffic down. We just can't deal with it. So I guess it would be a project for Public Works to look at.
Yeah, I would start with Public Works at least. Because that is a county road.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thanks, Ryan. Any questions for Ryan? All right. Next up on the list.
Allison?
Oh, yes, Debbie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to get my hand to go up, and I haven't been figured out. I just want to mention that the Natural Resources Conservation Service, the NRCS, has some grants that they've started to provide monies to take after fires, so post-fire cleanup and that sort of thing. There are some limits, I think, to the acreage. We are going to be having at our Resource Conservation District meeting this Friday, Andrew Lee, who's the forester for the NRCS, to come and give us a presentation on the types of grants that are available for the fire, I think both the resilience and post cleanup. So I believe we had a couple of applications that were done last year. They did not succeed. So we're also kind of interested in what we can do to improve our compatibility to get those grants. But I think that that acreage along Glen, I noticed that too. I'm doing up down that it would be good to try to get some of that, maybe an application in for that area as well. So we're looking into it, and we'll find out more this Friday from Andrew Lee, and we can report more about that back to you guys.
Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, do let all of us know how that that conversation goes. And Ryan, just to clarify, those hazard trees you're talking about, are those on SPI property or on other properties as well?
Some of them are. There was an older fire down, I think it was the Willow Fire a few years ago. There's a bunch of dead brush and dead trees that no one has really done a whole lot with. I know the county went through and did masticate through that area, but there's just a lot of dead material, logs, standing brush, all kinds of stuff that, but yeah, quite a bit of it does go through SPI property.
Okay.
And like I said, I keep looking at it every day going, man, what do I do here? Can I do anything? And the answer is no for me.
Yeah, that's an interesting pickle because of the road there. We'll put our thinking caps on. Let's talk more. We can get in touch with Public Works. See if they can help out.
A follow-up question on that mastication that did happen earlier in the spring and summer. Is there going to be a follow-up spray for those resprouting species?
That is the plan. Yes.
Oh, good. Great.
Yes. Hopefully really soon. I need to get on that.
Perfect time is right now.
Yeah. If you have any leads on a good company to do that, let me know.
Okay.
So I have I think one or two contacts, but
yeah,
let me know. All right. Any other questions on that? Comments? All right, we'll move on to one of the last ones on our list, Chai Company. Madison, if you're there, if you want to give a
hi guys. So I can kind of echo what Ryan said. Most of our operations are pretty well shut down at this point as far as mastication and biomass chipping goes. We have just recently wrapped up chipping operations on some of our properties in the Brownsville, Frenchtown Road area. Both us and Sillers, a lot of the stuff that you guys have been seeing along Frenchtown Road proper, that's a project that Sillers has been working on through the Yuba Foothills Healthy Forest Project. We've got another chipping project in Forbestown that we just wrapped up. And we've been just wrapped up a lot of follow-up spray work on the mastication and chipping units. I think we probably did somewhere around 600 acres or so of follow-up herbicide application in our recently treated areas here within the last month to knock back some of the resprouting vegetation. And yeah, other than that, we're looking at, getting going with more mastication and potentially biomass chipping operations, depending on market conditions this fall and winter, once we have some more precip and we have a little bit more safe fire weather conditions for operations. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Great, thank you. And then I thought I saw Nick from Siller Brothers here briefly, but I don't see him anymore. So we will go ahead and move on to, actually, I should say first, thank you, all of our partners. Oh, yes, is that a chai company comment? Okay.
Again, Keith Chambers, Chai Company. I just want to add to what to Madison's report. For some of you, you may recognize me. For many of you, you may not. I've been with Chai for coming up on 43 years, and I will be retiring at the end of this month. So I'm going to have time on my hands. So I want to give you a little bit of background here. So because I may be participating with this group, because my career is deeply embedded in Yuba County. A little history on the FSC. So I was involved in the beginnings of the Fire Safe Council many years back. Okay, and Jim Johnson was there with me, and Glenn Nader. You probably remember Glenn Nader. You know, he was with one of the founding members of the this FSC, and we got one of the first grants to get some work started, and at least provided the foundation for the community to tier off of and have this, which I think is a phenomenal opportunity and counsel to get a lot of really good work done in this area. Our company, the owners, the Setzer family, has been big supporters of this community. We contributed money to the construction of this Alcoof Center. We contributed money to the restoration of the Catholic Church in downtown Dobbins. Supported the fire lookouts, and all the fire departments have and will continue to do that. And let's see, I still have, do I have Ryan McKillop's ear? I see him on the screen there, his name. So yeah, so I put out a challenge to Sierra Pacific Industries to step up and match what Chai has done for this community. And so Ryan, you can do me a favor and carry a message back to the Emersons. And so anyway,
the message already been received, and we're.
Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Hello? Yeah, message is received, and we're working on it. You know, the Yuba Fire Safe at the moment a little bit busy with stuff, but you know, man, any opportunity that comes up, we're game for that. I mean. Yeah, I've got some more grants in the county that I'm working on implementation on, but yeah, we definitely need another round, you know, for Yuba County, I think, as we go forward here.
That's great. And Kathy, before you depart, I'd like to kind of give an update on something that I brought up earlier this year, which had to do with the Grass Valley Air Attack Base, and a concern, and I know you had a similar concern. The Loma Rica Ranch residential development is underway. They're breaking ground. It's at the foot of the Grass Valley Airport. And so when those air tankers start flying over those homes, you know, my concern was, you know, are we going to get a lot of community vocal opposition to, you know, change that air attack base? That air attack base is a phenomenal resource to the protection of these foothills communities. And, you know, I want to compliment CAL FIRE on their use of the aircraft this year. They didn't hesitate bringing the heavy aircraft out of McClellan and put a lid on these fires. So the air attack base in Grass Valley is a huge asset to this community. And after I introduced that topic earlier this year, I got with Randy Fletcher and brought the matter up to him. Didn't gain a lot of traction, you know, other than I think he was looking at opportunities for Yuba County and its airport. Okay, so that's about all I know. If we want to get more, maybe we can ask Randy to come to our next meeting and give us an update as to, what he's doing, because that air attack base in Grass Valley supports this community. Okay. And so anyway, that's something that I'm going to continue to monitor, because I live in Nevada County and the aircraft fly right over my home. And, I give them a wave and an attaboy and an attagirl. We have a number of pilots that are female. I would love to see those pilots come in and give a pep talk to this community, because they are a tremendous asset. That's the air attack base. I believe the lady that was sitting next to me, the winding fire, helped me get my feet back on the ground. That's the Uri Mountain community. Okay, when back in the early days of the Fire Safe Council, we looked at Uri Mountain or talked about the ingress, egress, and evacuation routes. So I think that's something that I don't know where that ever went. We probably should get it back on the radar screen. I believe we looked at egress routes to the south. University of California has property, as well as Fish and Wildlife has property. I know there's a major ranch. I don't know what the hurdles would be to get access to create an effective evacuation route, but apparently if that concern still exists, it's something that, I think we as a Fire Safe Council could take a look at. The only other thing I wanted to ask is, as sort of a topic, is causes of fires. I monitor my scanner all fire season. I watch the alert wildfire cameras. We used to operate the radio towers at Oregon Peak. That was a big part of my career as well, and we sold that last year with a number of other towers. But it's a tremendous resource to be able to actually see and monitor the smoke columns and the progress of the firefighting efforts through those alert wildfire cameras. But when I listen to the scanner, I hear a lot of the fires are caused by start as structure fires. Okay, we don't know what is that. Is that a cannabis grow? With poor electrical wiring? Is it just homes that are not code compliant? Don't know. All we know is we are seeing structure fires and a variety of causes. And I know CAL FIRE does their investigations, and that's very confidential information, I believe, relative to any follow-up litigation that they may have. But, in my work over the years, what we've always looked at is, okay, if you're a problem solver, you got to know what the root of the problem is. And if there's a means for this council to understand what the causes of the fires are, do we need to support the sheriff more or building department for greater code enforcement? I know you're doing things like, trailer chain covers. If we understand what the problem is, we can always find solutions. So I don't know, I guess my request to CAL FIRE is there an opportunity for this council to, understand, what the causes of the fires are, so then we can address those, look for grant monies that could assist in addressing those, to be really, really what we want to do, like CAL FIRE, it's initial attack. If we can stop the fire before it starts, we're ahead of the game. So anyway, those are my comments for today. And again, I'm retiring at the end of the month. I'll have time on my hand to come in here and pester this organization, in particular, your executive director. And I'm going to embarrass her right now. She's my daughter. Okay, so yes, and so this has been a very these last 4 decades have been a very family affair, in the sense that we, Jim Johnson, myself, Steve Andrews, Martha Benninger, who was executive director, these have all been people that we've worked with, we've trained, and to be effective cooperators with the community. So anyway, sorry, sweetheart, but I couldn't resist. All right. So. Hey, Gary, I'll think about it. Yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you.
We will make sure you stick around.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you for your support. 20 years up in that lookout tower. You guys helped us with our barbecues, with t-shirts and everything else. So thank you very much. And John Messick is our next District 5 supervisor. If you want to talk to him about that airport.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for our great partner reports. A lot of great info, a lot of great stuff going on these days. So I think with that, we will move on to our Fire Safe Council reports. And first up, we'll have Beverly give an update on outreach.
Thank you. And yeah, Keith, you're now on the list, you know. Always looking for volunteers. I just want to say thank you to CAL FIRE for being so quick on the spot and getting so many fires that could have gotten out of hand just stopped dead in their tracks. And thank you to the Oregon Peak volunteers who made that happen or helped make that happen. So those are great partners to work with. We talked about the staffing for the lookout. And again, if you're interested, definitely touch base with Bill High. His email address will be in the notes. And we also will put it on the Facebook page. And thank you to both CAL FIRE and Forest Service for keeping me stocked in old hose, which miraculously turn into tow chain covers. And we've been excited about the numbers we've been producing. And shout out to Tonio Hernandez in Brownsville, who has single-handedly taken that on as a project. I take him hose and wham, it's tow chain covers. So I really appreciate that. And the groups around the foothill communities that have just been devouring the tow chain covers. I mean, I drop off 50 or 60 at a time at various locations and they're just gone. So that's good. I'm hoping that means we've seen a reduction in tow chain cover spark roadside fires. Maybe. Yeah. And I know that every time somebody does see somebody dragging chains, I get an email or I get a text message. Hey, where are those tow chain covers? So, so that's, those are my thank yous. Excited to say that our calendar, our 2023 calendar is in total production. I think this is probably the earliest we've gotten it done. And thanks to Printworks and their designer for really getting on top of this thing. I think we're just going to be our final tune-up in the next week or so. And we'll look forward to having them to get them out probably before December, if at all possible. Outreach education, been contacted to do a information education piece that yes, with some of the parents of younger kids, we're trying to get that coordinated. The Prepare Fair is coming on the 20th. The other thing that I was real interested in is the number, and there was a gentleman here that was from, was a wildfire mitigation review person, and I lost track of the name, from a different location who popped in to see what we were doing. We get emails and contacts from a lot of various places. And some of them have been a result of Allison and Yannicka and I going to a California Fire Safe Council meeting back in February. And it's been great to know that they keep up with what we're doing, reaching out. One is Solano RCD, who's trying to work on a project with the Solano Fire Safe Council to implement the same kinds of cost share grants that we have been using. And to have an area like that come to Little O Yuba County Fire Safe Council means that we are getting our information and what we're doing out there. And I think the more that we can do that and more that we can bring people, and we've got at least 4 counties that started doing, or groups in 4 other counties started doing tow chain covers. The Gridley Lions Club is like, talk about lions. They've just blanketed that area with them. And, you know, the gal that's part of the club that picked up on the thing and started it is just run with this project. So I think we have to remember that even though we think we're Little O Yuba County, we're not so little. And we do have a little bit of a reach. And I'm real excited to see people from outside this area coming to us for that information. I think that's about it as far as outreach education. Anybody have any questions? Nope. Okay.
Want to let you know the 3 tow chain covers I sent back to Gunnison, Colorado with my son. Their fire department has given away over 500 sets of tow chain covers now because of the example we sent back to them.
Wow, that's amazing. You do some kind of map of like where the tow chain covers travel. That'd be fun. Yeah. Very cool. Thanks, Beverly. Next up, we have board report. I don't believe Sean is here. Does anyone else from the board have anything to report? I see a no. All right, that's fine. We're going to try to have a board meeting right after this meeting. It looks like, Steve, I think I see your number on there. So I think we'll have a board meeting today. All right, so that means it is time for my report, executive director report. So just some updates on what we've been doing. I know, let's see. Start with our fuel projects. I know I've talked about the Stevens Fund fuel breaks up Oregon Ridge and Brownsville area. Talked about those a bit before. Those haven't had much going on over the summer. I think like Ryan and Madison, they're some of our large landowners helping implement those fuel breaks. Like Madison mentioned, there was some spray work completed. That was on Chai's property, and then also on one of the smaller private landowners that was adjacent to that. So a little bit of spray work, and then more work will move ahead this winter once we get favorable weather. But I do want to mention, Ryan, since you're here, and I guess we lost Nick, but I do want to touch base with you guys, just have a little meeting about Stevens Fund stuff, kind of see where we're at on the maps and budget and all of that, before you guys dive into more of that field break work this winter. So heads up, if you don't hear from me soon, bug me about it, please.
Okay. We
should talk about it, but yeah, I thank you guys for all the work on that. Let's see, our roadside fuel reduction project. That was the project that was funded early in the summer by a CAL FIRE grant, and then also cost share from Yuba Water Agency to do roadside fuel reduction in the Dobbins and Organ House area. So right now the board is working on hiring a forester who will help us conduct all the required surveys, and kind of oversee the implementation work on that project. So we received 3 bids for that project, and the board has been reviewing those, and we hope to have an answer possibly today at today's board meeting. So, or if not, then very soon. And then we really can get started. Like once we have that forester on board, we'll really get started on the on the surveys, and then once those are in place, get started on the implementation work. I'm hopeful that it'll be this winter. It kind of depends on the timing of all of our surveys. and as well as landowner outreach, because we do have somewhere in the realm of like 300 landowners that this project is going to touch. So that piece is going to be a fun project. But yeah, so that's the update on that project. Residential programs. First up, our cost share programs. I've talked about these before as well. We have a home hardening and a defensible space project, or cost share project. Those reimburse homeowners 50% of their home hardening or defensible space costs up to $2,000 is our max on those. So those we launched in March, and they're both funded by two different grants, and those were really short-term grants. So they're actually coming quickly to a close. We're working on getting extensions as possible, but let's see, I'll share a little bit more about those. Applications for both are due no later than November. Home hardening is due November 15th, and defensible space is due November 30th. So let's see, defensible space, we might be able to get an extension, but just in case they don't, get applications in by November 30th, just to be safe. So far, we've paid out a little over $18,000 in cost share to homeowners, and that is on just over $57,000 worth of total project costs that people have done to their properties. We still have about $32,000 remaining, so that is a minimum of 16 residences. So we still have a little bit left, but in what is that, a month and a half? So get your work done and get your applications in. No, so that's defensible space, and we have a little less money for that one. So that's 32,000 left, November 30th. And then home hardening, so that's more for work directly on your home. That is, our grant is due November 30th. That one does not get an extension. So we're asking applications to be in, like I said, by November 15th. That just gives us time to process the applications and get the checks out. So that one has an even shorter time frame, November 15th. And so far we've spent $34,765. So yeah, 34,700 on that we've put out in cost share, cost share funds. And that is on $173,000 in total project costs that people have done to their homes. That it does include, there was, I think, one roof project and one siding project, but for the most part, they're relatively smaller projects. So that's kind of gives you an idea of the amount of work being done. And we've been able to help out with 34,000 of that. So that grant still has about $44,000 remaining. Fantastic. More coming in, please. Yes, please do. The sooner the better, but yeah, definitely by November 15th. And on that note, that still is quite a bit to use in a short period of time. So even though we don't get an extension, we did just find out yesterday, I believe, that we are allowed to use that money on related expenses if we don't get enough cost share applications come in. So I thought I'd put the question out to the group real quick. If you have any ideas on how to spend money now within the next month and a half, that would help residents with hardening their homes in the future. So we could spend this on materials, say like 1/8" mesh for people to use on their vent, or other materials like that we'd purchase up front, and then we could offer, say, at a discount in the future after the grant period is over. We've tossed around the idea of doing some key tools, maybe doing like a tool lending library, tool trailer kind of idea. And, the tools that are related to doing home hardening, defensible space kind of work. We might be able to buy a chipper. I'd have to check with them. Sometimes there are like funding limits, but yeah, look into that. Yeah. It's an idea. We'll take it. But anyway, we're open to ideas on, you know, if we don't get enough of these cost share applications, and how else can we use this money to help support. It needs to be in the realm of home hardening still. We probably could make the defensible space argument as well, but that grant was really focused on home hardening. So open to ideas. Yeah, if you have any later, let us know. We'll be gutter covers. That's a good idea. Yep.